reminds you to proceed with viewer discretion. For within the delightful realms of our romantic comedy, hearts will flutter and giggles shall abound. Kosika hopes you have an absolutely delightful time diving into the whimsical tale of Reincarnated as the Traumatized Princess. I'll just help my flawless sweetheart change the genre. So snuggle up, embrace the sweetness, and let our charming journey begin.
Welcome to Flavored Enemy, Reincarnated as the Traumatic Princess. It is good to have you all here. We start our story in a small cafe on the corner. It's a bustling city outside. You hear the taxis zooming by. You can hear the chit-chat of people as they're walking down the sidewalk. You can smell the coffee, the aromas spilling out of the windows. The rain's drizzling down very lightly, almost inaudible over the roar of the city. Sitting there, two-person table, all by themselves. It's Colin. Colin, could you introduce yourself and what it is you look like, please?
Yeah. So I'm Colin. I'm a football player for the Bulldogs. Go Bulldogs! And I'm just a dude who's like pretty beefy, but like not too beefy. And I've got like wavy blonde hair and brown eyes, and I'm just kind of vibing in this chair by myself with like a black hoodie and some comfy black sweatpants, but like the cool kind, like the fashionable kind. And then I've got some high tops on and some headphones, and I'm just chilling in this cafe with my cup of coffee, which is just a double shot Americano.
As you're sitting there enjoying
your
coffee and just vibing, you look kind of inside the coffee shop, just through the glass window, and you see these two guys just sitting there. One's resting his chin on his hands, staring deeply into his. See, he's got this long black hair settling just past the middle of his neck, framing his face so that you can just barely make out his eyes from behind this curtain of black hair. Across from him, you can see this slightly younger looking guy with this dirty blonde hair cropped close. And they're both sitting there just kind of enjoying each other's company. You see that the blonde guy looks up at getting looked at in that passionate way and smiles and smirks. You can see their lips moving, but you can't make out what they're saying. What is it that you think they're saying? And what is it that you're doing during this time? What are you thinking?
Well, at first I'm just kind of watching them, like taking mental notes about like what they look like. I don't know why, like my eye is right there. And then like I start to think that the guy with the long black hair is kind of cute. And then I start to like think about what I would think they're talking about, which is mostly just a lot of incomplete sentences like, yeah, I know, and you're so, and like some compliment, and then like complimenting back and forth, and like Colin's just kind of like getting a little bit of a dumb, cute, like wholesome expression on his face, because he's like, aw, how cute is that? How romantic. And then he like catches himself doing that, and he like hides his face a little bit in his hoodie.
So as you kind of hide your face in your hoodie,
Americano.
you feel a slight buzz in your jacket pocket. Your cell phone's buzzing.
I very quickly go to like retrieve it, and I almost drop it because I'm like desperate for.
You see that it is a
distraction.
message from your friend Richard. You see that Ricky's asking if you can come over and meet up with him in his neighborhood to get a little early dinner. He wants to talk to you about something.
Colin just like stares for a second at the message and then quickly types,
yeah,
you good?
Fine, something I want to talk to you about. No, nothing bad, just feel like it's better in person.
That's fair, my guy. I'll be there in like 20 minutes.
So, you kind of finishing up your coffee, you know, set the cup down, get ready to stand up, and as you kind of turn to head out the door, you see the same couple, and you see that the person who had their hands rested underneath their chin is kind of like rubbing the side of their partner's cheek with his thumb, just kind of looking in this just awe, like, I could never get enough of this. What's the first thing that flies through your head?
Colin like wishes he had that, and it's just like the briefest flash of a realization, and then he like quickly looks away and tries to leave.
So are you heading straight there? Okay. So you're walking along.
Yeah.
It's about 4:30 at night right now. One of the first things that you see is that even though all the lights are on in the city and that the headlights are all loud in their brilliant, luminous way, and even though no one else seems to notice, you can see the variance in colors above you. You can see the brilliant blues and blacks and purples in the starry sky. You can see the constellations, like as if you were standing out in the middle of the woods, right here in the city. What are you doing as you're kind of looking along at this and heading the way towards Ricky's neighborhood?
The lights kind of become like his next distraction fixation, because he does notice that they're like very aesthetic, and he's down for the aesthetic. He enjoys a good aesthetic, and so like he stuffs his hands in his pockets and like looks up at the lights as he's walking, which like he knows he's been told that he shouldn't do that and that he should watch where he's going. But like, this is better than what was going on in his head like 2 minutes ago. So he's just kind of like walking along, thinking about the lights, thinking about how the colors complement each other. And yeah, just walking along.
So you're walking along, and you're getting towards the neighborhood where you're supposed to meet up with your friend, and you hear a commotion going on in the alley to your left. You can see three guys, rather big and beefy looking, just pummeling on this guy behind a dumpster. All you can see of him is his jeans and his black boots. The guy getting pummeled, specifically. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a insight check?
So this is dumb. Really quick.
Yeah.
I
go ahead and roll
assumed
flat
we
20.
didn't need a sheet, so I didn't make one.
You're good.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
I got a nat 20.
Okay. So you immediately recognize these three. You recognize them as the school that you're supposed to be playing in a week. It's their defensive line, 3 of them. This is the championship game. There's going to be a bunch of scouts there. And then it clicks immediately. those boots belong to your buddy Ricky, the quarterback for your team.
Yeah, no, there's like no hesitation. I take all of 2 seconds to like dial 911, and then with the phone still in my hand, I'm gonna charge these
in
guys.
there, right? And you see one guy turn around and say, "Oh fuck!" And then he immediately turns around as soon as you charge into him, and you see he had a knife in his hand. Last minute, you see it as it carves right across your chest into your stomach. He drops the knife and begins to turn to sprint. You get one action in before he runs away.
Can I grab the
yeah,
knife
make
and,
a
stab
make a
him
sleight
in
of hand
the ankle?
check. D20. Oh my god.
So you're not gonna believe this, but I got another nat 20.
So you grab this
I'm not even
knife, right? And you go ahead and describe to me exactly what happens as you're falling down while this goes on.
So as a person who is into sports, my whole like thing is acting quickly in the heat of the moment, and so I'm aware that I am probably bleeding. I grab the knife all the same like it's a football. Or, well, with the same intention as I would a football, and then I just jam it as hard, like, right into this guy's Achilles heel, hoping that I can make it so that he can't run, because I once, like, tore the tendon there.
So you see him
you
see him like clatter to the ground. His two buddies like pick him up as they're like dragging him away, and your vision's starting to blur. You see that he is bleeding out from that ankle profusely as they drag him away. And you see Ricky completely black and blue, several knife wounds to the stomach. Just over there, sputtering blood out of his mouth.
Do I still like
it's still in your hand, and you hear 911 on the other line saying, "Stay right where you are. We have officers en route."
He just kind of like mutters thanks to the phone as he's like gonna, don't mind the cats, he's gonna like try to crawl over to Ricky.
So you kind of crawl over to Ricky. Ricky's like sputtering blood. You do, even through blurry vision, you notice something different about him, about like the way that he is presenting himself, and even through all the bruises and cuts and stuff, you have a vague sense of what was going on here. And you hear him talk to you, and he says, "It figures that this would be how it starts. You okay, Colin?"
Yeah. Don't worry about me. What about you? Tell me where it hurts.
You see there's a pretty nasty looking knife wound in the gut. He's really pale, and the blood is starting to turn that in that like thickness area where it's starting to like try to clot itself.
I would like to try to take my hoodie off so that I can like compress that
you gotta
area.
make another D20 roll for a medicine. Okay. So you starting to hold the wound and get the pressure on there with the hoodie, and he looks at you and says, In case I die, can I tell you what I wanted to talk to you about?
You're not gonna die, Ricky. I mean, yeah, you can say what you want, but you're not gonna die. Just careful. Be careful on yourself.
Remember last year you took me to that Pride Festival in Montreal?
Yeah, that was a great time.
I've been thinking about that day a lot. Well, I wanted to ask you if you could help me try to learn how to do stuff like good outfits and like how do you wear a skirt, and do you think that name Ivy sounds good?
There's like full on tears in his eyes at this point because this is a lot of stuff happening all at once. And like Ivy is so good. he just says that straight up. Ivy is such a good name. Yeah, when we get through this, I promise you, we'll go. We'll figure it out. But you gotta stay
I
with
was
me,
really
okay?
hoping to start a new life, but I don't know if I'm getting that. And you're now starting to feel your hands turn extremely cold and your vision's starting to get really blurry. You okay? You're turning gray.
I'm fine. Just hang on. They're on their way. They're coming. They're gonna help us.
You see two cops pull up and they see you all and they look at both of you and say, "Paramedics are on the way. Where did the kids go?"
Colin just he didn't watch exactly where they go, so he just kind of points out of the alley. Because he doesn't
both
really
run
know
away
which way they went.
towards that area that you pointed. And you are once again alone. You see, Ivy looks at you and she says, even if it was a short amount of time, that was the...
I'm like trying not to cry IRL right now. Sorry. Colin just kind of like, he like smiles at her. Cause strength is not his strong suit right now, pun intended. And like leans a little bit like into the compress, and it's like a good 50% because he really wants the bleeding to stop, and a good 50% because like he just doesn't have the strength to hold himself up anymore. So he's using his body weight to make sure she doesn't bleed out. It was a great moment for me too, even though the circumstances are kind of shitty. I'm glad you told me.
You know, those wildcats are gonna lose anyways. Morons.
Yeah, they are. Fucking chumps.
Chumps. And she stops breathing.
Ivy.
He's not
Ivy.
responding.
I'm gonna like try really hard to like move to like feel for her pulse.
As you do, your body kind of goes limp, and you feel yourself like roll over, and you no longer really have control of your body. You fall onto your back, laying right there next to Ivy, and you can see that same pristine sky, devoid of any pollution of light. And through the stars, you could swear you almost hear a voice. Calls out to you.
With like tears in his eyes and like blood on his hands, he just kind of like reaches up to the sky because he's listening, and it's the only positive, pleasant thing in this moment because he's really upset that everything just happened the way that it did. And he's just like crying.
There, dear, that's all right. That's all right. Just come to me, love. It'll be okay. I've got you now.
Who are you?
Why, I'm the doll, dearie. Just come to me. It'll be okay. I've got you now. I'll take good care of you.
Is Ivy there?
Don't you worry about dear sweet Ivy. For now, let's worry about you, okay? One at a time, dear.
I promised I would do this with her.
I'm sorry? Do what?
Her journey. She asked me.
As your vision starts to fade, you see the stars start to tunnel. You feel death approach you. You know this is the end. What's going through your mind as you feel yourself succumbing to your mortal coil?
That there are too many people that I care about that have no idea this is happening right now, and that I'm not getting a response out of my friend. I don't want to go. I'm scared. And I'm worried about the people I care about.
Your vision fades. You feel your body stretched across the stars, through realms and realms, into nothing but stardust, back to from whence you came. But if that's the case, you are more confused when you suddenly find yourself on a singular grassy hill. And atop that hill, you see a small cottage. You can see, sitting outside at a table set for tea, a mysterious figure dressed in vibrant, flowing robes. See that the figure's appearance constantly shifts and changes.
I look around for a minute, trying to figure out where the heck I am. And then I start to kind of cautiously walk towards this person, a little nervous. Because I'm very confused, and it is a little ominous that their shape keeps changing a little bit. But I will approach them.
As you approach them, you can see that there are 3 seats at this table. You see that in one seat sits this shape-changing figure. In another seat, you can see that in front of it there is an empty teacup, and no one sitting in it. No one sitting in the seats, but the teacup, you can see the slight residue of the little bit of tea at the bottom. And then another seat with a full cup of tea.
I remember the little bit of manners that I learned, and I don't sit in either of the chairs because they look like they might be occupied, but I do walk up to the table kind of across from the person that's sitting there, and I kind of look at them a little bit, you know how sometimes people bend their heads a little bit, like they're looking to make eye contact with the person? That's what I'm doing right now.
Welcome.
Hello?
Welcome, seeker of love and beauty. I am the doll, the one who dances between the realms of mortals and gods, forever seeking the essence of true beauty and the depths of love. Now, how may I assist you on your journey?
Could you start by explaining where we are?
Where we are? Of course. We are simply here, at one of my many humble abodes. Fancy a cup of tea?
More of a coffee guy, but I guess I could drink some tea. What kind of tea is it?
Oh, you know, only the best. It's a green tea with hints of jasmine, cinnamon, and juniper berries. It's quite soothing and comforting, honestly.
Colin doesn't tell the doll that doesn't really sound appealing to him, but he just kind of smiles a little bit, courteously, and then points at the full cup. Is that meant for me?
Yes, that one is meant for you, and I'm sure you'll find that it is still quite warm. So do be careful now, dear.
Right. And then he sits down and holds the cup with 2 hands for a second, while he's looking into it because he's not sure. And then he'll take a very small, cautious sip.
Don't worry, dear. I haven't poisoned you. Besides, even if I were going to do just that, it's a little late?
Okay. So, this isn't like some kind of weird sequence of dreams, then, I guess, is it? I really got stabbed.
Oh, why, yes, of course. You really did get stabbed. Now, as far as whether or not all of this is a series of dreams, I would certainly hope not. After all, I spent far too much time making sure I and all of this looked positively delightful.
He, smiles a little bit. Yeah, it is really pretty out here, and this tea is better than I expected. But, and then, his face kind of, gets a little sad. Do you know if Ivy is okay?
Ah, Ivy. Dear, sweet, beloved, precious Ivy. You know, I must say, I do know how you feel. But fret not, my love. I have just sent her on her way. So, Colin, beloved soul, the time has come for your grand rebirth into the majestic realm of Vittore, a fantastical tapestry woven with vibrant hues of magic and boundless imagination.
Reborn? Rebirth?
Why, yes, that is what I said. Rebirth.
There's just a moment where he's just staring at the doll, not sure what else to say or to ask, and then he just kind of is this an anime? You know those anime where they die and go to another world? Is that what this is? Did I just become an anime character?
You know, I can't quite say I'm too familiar with this anime, as it were. Although I'm always willing and ready to meet new delightful people, especially when they are as sweet as you are. Now, about Vittore. Vittore, my dearest Colin, dances to the rhythm of dreams and dazzles with flamboyant splendor. I should know she gets it from me. Picture this. Magnificent citadels adorned with cascading waterfalls and towers that reach to touch the heavens. Behold sprawling meadows, where mythical creatures frolic and fey folk enchant with their whimsical dances. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it?
It literally does.
Well, I can assure you it is most certainly not a dream. It is but a reality.
And that's where I'm going?
Indeed it is.
Is that where you sent Ivy?
I've sent Ivy on her way. Now please, try not to fret too much about her.
You just see him relax at the notion that this place that sounds magical, Ivy would fit in so well there, and he knows it. So he's content with that, and he relaxes and then takes a pretty big sip of his tea. Okay, you said it was time, right?
I did. Now, Colin, dear, before I fully send you on your way, I must say, I did notice a thing or two about you, and I'll admit that I certainly am a fan. Now, as sort of, oh gosh, now what do these mortals call it these days? That's right. I would like to offer a gift to you. Yes, that's it, a gift. Now, isn't that sweet? So, beloved one, before I make my final decision, is there perhaps something you might want? Perhaps? Now, please know that while I am a god, and one of love and beauty at that, I do have my limits. So please try to keep that in mind.
There's like a long moment where he's like trying to even figure out what he could possibly want that doll maybe even be like asking him for. He's like not sure what kind of want they specifically mean.
Well,
Maybe a change of clothes?
a change of clothes. But of course, I mean, where you're going, darling, in Vittore, a change of clothes is nothing. So, I mean, no. Is that really all you could possibly want is a new change of clothes?
I mean, you did say you had limits, and I don't want to be rude.
Oh, nonsense. You couldn't possibly rude. Not after what you've done for dear sweet Ivy. I just want to make sure that you are sure of what it is that you want, because once it's done, there's no takesies backsies. No?
Yeah, definitely a change of clothes, and maybe some new shoes, like the new Nikes. That would be cool.
Well, Nike, she's a friend of mine. I haven't seen her in ages, though.
There's like a moment where he's like trying to process what that means, and he just decides not to ask. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to like a fairy tale world or something, right?
Well, more or less, there are lots of fairies and many a tale. Okay,
I
then.
don't know if I want to be as small as a fairy, but he just shrugs. Yeah, a change of clothes and some new shoes would probably do it.
Change of clothes, new shoes. Do you want that tail? I can work that out too.
Sure. He's not sure what kind of tail they mean, but he's like, yeah, this is my life now, I guess. My unlife. He doesn't say it like that, but he's like, yeah, sure. The tail.
Okay, now let's just see here. Let me just write down a couple of things here. Change of clothes, tail, pay Nike a visit, more tea, clothes. So, tell me, Colin, how do you feel about the color purple? Something deep and majestic like royalty.
It's a pretty cool color. I like purple. It's a vibe.
Okay, I'll be able to pull that off, no problem. I've got lots of purple. Alright, and I'm thinking, how about a touch of gold as an accent color? A little bit around the edges?
I like gold too. Gold's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Purple, gold, signs of nobility and such. And definitely an emphasis on that tail. Alright, now, dear, do me one last favor, would you?
Yeah.
Okay, now, drink up all of that tea. I want to see every last drop gone when you go. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, fantastic. Marvelous, darling. Now go on, hurry up, off with you now. And please, try not to come back anytime too soon. I would love to meet up again for more tea, but I'll come find you, okay, dear?
Yeah. And then he goes to drink the tea. He is so confused right now, and it's still like processing what kind of tail they mean. Like he's still that far back. And then he like finishes the drink.
Alrighty. Now off with you. Go. Goodbye, Colin. I already know. Your spirit shines like a supernova, dear Colin. As you traverse Vittori's mystical realms, immerse yourself in the kaleidoscope of love and beauty that envelops this realm. Seek out moments of pure adoration. Bask in the awe-inspired vistas and shower the world with the brilliance of your soul.
As you explode into a million million particles of pure light, brilliant and shining pinks and purples and teals, and fall beneath the clouds. As your vision starts to slowly come back to you, very, very, feel yourself jostled in your seat. Are you sitting? On a not very cushiony cushion. Go ahead and make me a perception check. And you now have skills, so you can do that. Go ahead and click the campaign link in the DM I just dropped you and grab your unclaimed character.
I am already looking at this and am very excited.
I will drop a picture for you too.
All right. And you said which skill?
Your perception.
Actually, I might have to do this from my phone. It does not like my computer for some reason. All right, perception. That's a 10.
You are feeling kind of car sick. Got a little bit of feeling like acid reflux in your chest as you're looking around and you see a small circular glass window on an old wooden door. You're traveling on what you assume is a really bumpy road, and you are the only person in what you can ascertain is a carriage. And as you're looking around, you notice for the first time your hands, which have a light spackling of green scales on them.
I'm a little thrown off by this. I'm going to shift a little on the cushion because it feels like it hurts, but I am focused on my hands and looking at my arms. And then I'm going to look at my body. Very confused, much confused Colin noises.
And as you're just traveling down this, what you presume is this bumpy road. Are you doing anything in particular?
I'm gonna look around once once I've looked at myself, which I'm very confused by, but I've decided that that's not really what's important right now. Figuring out where I am is, and I'm gonna look see if there's a window.
Yeah, there's a small circular window, and you kind of peek out of it, and you can see that there are large green rolling plains for as far as you can see.
So Colin remembers the doll telling him that he was going to pretty much a fairy tale land. So he knows in the logic part of his brain that he should be very alarmed by all of this, but he's not. And so is there any way to maybe open the window? Can I look out and see if there's somebody driving the carriage?
Well, you can open the door, but the window doesn't have a latch on it or anything. As you're kind of looking at, you also notice that you are wearing a purple and gold outfit, looking extremely regal. And you also notice that there is a letter in an inside pocket of this outfit.
Before so he stops for a second because he was gonna open the door, but then he paused, and that's when he noticed, and he picks up the letter and looks around for a second, opening it when he isn't sure whose it is a bad idea, but he doesn't stop to look at the letter and see who it's addressed to. He just opens it.
And at the very top, in very feminine handwriting, you can see it says, "Dearest Dokuga, I am really sad to see you go. I honestly couldn't ask for your big brother, and I really hope that you find what you're looking for, but remember," as you can see there's tears on the paper, "remember you have a family here. Since you abdicated, I can take the crown and you don't have to have any of those responsibilities. Don't stay away forever, okay? Your sister, Dakairi.
So this, like, kind of strikes a little bit of a chord with Colin because he has two younger sisters. And he frowns a little bit because it's sad, and then he also wonders who Dokuga is, and why he has Dokuga's letter. He's going to, like, check his robes to see if there's any other, like, indicator of that information.
You see that the only other things that you find in your possessions is you see that there is a long sword on your hip, for one. And for two, there is a very intricate looking ring. But it looks to make up like a whole shield of scales on the ring, but only a portion of them are colored. The rest are all just the silver color of the metal. The portion of the scales are shaded in a very similar shade of green as to the splotchiness of scales on your arm. You also notice the thumping of a tail on the seat with you.
It is that moment that Colin realizes what kind of tail the doll was talking about. And, he just kind of, like, smiles for a second, and then starts, like, chuckling, and then laughing, and, like, he's gonna try to, like, move the tail.
Yep, it thumps right along with you as you move it.
This is great. I have a tail. I have scales. I have a tail. I'm a dragon. I'm a dragon. Of course I'm a dragon. Dragons are cool. I'm cool. I would be a dragon in a fairy tale world. Let's go.
You suddenly feel the carriage stop. And you hear a couple people get off of the front of the carriage and walk around, and they knock thrice the door.
My liege, there seems to be some trouble up ahead. We need to know whether or not you wish for us to enter the city, or whether or not you'd like to turn around, my liege. Lord Dokuga, are you there?
He, like,
You sleeping?
opens the door. It's not super graceful. He, like, blinks for a second when he, like, opens the door to, like, look at this person. Does it, like, swing out or in?
Yeah, it swings outwards. So you kind of swing it and you smack right in the side of the face. It's like,
Sorry.
It's my fault for standing so close, my liege. I should never deign as to approach you in such a manner.
You see that he has these blue scales shooting up from his fingers all the way up past his elbows. He's got these bright blue wings that are sprung out from his back. And you also see that he has a singular javelin across his back that is crackling with blue lightning. Electricity just crackling behind him.
He is immediately entranced by this. He is kind of excited because this, just like looking at this, is so fucking cool to him. He's like, dragon people with lightning, but he doesn't say that because he's kind of like clocked that he's in a weird situation. He like blinks a couple times as he like realizes that he's staring. You're good. You're fine. It's cool. What was your question?
My liege, perhaps it's best if you see the situation for yourself. I can show you right here.
Yeah, do that, please. Thank you.
So he gestures for two guards to roll out a mat so you don't have to step on the dirt. And they do so. And he walks alongside the mat without stepping on it, and then points in the direction the carriage is facing.
He has to, like, fight himself a little bit because he wants to, like, do a little excitement dance. But he channels the inner drag queen and, like, suddenly goes from, like, sweet, wholesome lost boy to, like, fitting the image of the regal gowns, and he steps out with grace. And then turns to look at what it is that this guy wants him to see.
You see a hill giant. This large, 15-foot tall, muscular, round humanoid, wielding this big, large bead of bone and swinging it, knocking complete houses and cottages down around the outskirts of the city that's up ahead. You see the guards have closed the city gates and are firing arrows into it, but nothing seems to be happening. The hill giant just looks angry and annoyed.
So he's watching this happen, and then he, like, kind of feels like this pang in his chest as, like, he kind of flashes back momentarily to, like, the scene in the alleyway. And feels a little bit sad because this is, like, kind of reminiscent of that in a really twisted, fucked up way. And he looks at the guy and he's like, we can't just let this keep happening. We have to stop it.
Yes, of course, my liege, but this
People are dying.
isn't our kingdom. If you order it, we shall defend you, but we cannot go to the defense of this kingdom who are not our allies.
Do we not want more allies? Allies are good things to have. We could make allies of them if we stop this thing from destroying their town.
My liege, as you know, I cannot attack a foe that has not attacked you. Now, should we be put into a situation where your life was in danger, I must vanquish any threat to you.
I was
Make an
just
insight
about
check.
to ask if I could do that. That's a whopping 13.
Yeah, you even a 13 picks up. He's telling you to go fight it, and he'll follow you, but he can't go by himself.
There's just, like, this moment, where he's, like, processing that, and then, like, this big grin crosses his face. He has no idea what he's gonna do, but he's gonna do it. So he just, like, pats this guy on the shoulder, and then runs off. And then he's gonna, like, start patting himself down. He remembers the sword, and he pulls that out first.
As soon as you unsheathe the sword, there's this brilliant, bright flash of that pink light. And then a shield appears on your off arm, emblazoned with a beautiful flower. One that you saw blossoming just outside the cottage in the doll's garden.
That makes him smile.
As your armor folds all around you, and your helm closes down at the last minute, completely encasing you in full plate armor.
There's just, like, a brief moment.
And you feel...
Sorry, go ahead. There's a brief moment where he goes, this is so fucking cool.
And with that, you can roll initiative.
That's a nat 1.
You got all your nat 20s out. So you charge in, right? You see this hill giant turns towards you. You see that your two knights, who you presume they're knights based off of the way they're acting, are flanked right behind you. You see that even with wings, somehow you are just a smidge faster than both of them. And you zoom past, and you see this hill giant brings down his club. That's a 14 to hit.
Do you do meat? 'Cause I got a 14.
If it meets
Okay.
it, it beats it.
Yeah, so 14 hits.
Alright, did you hold on. I don't think that thing added real quick.
Oh, equipment? Let
Yeah.
me take a look. Yes, I'm not wearing my armor.
Yeah, there we go.
That helps a lot. No, a 14 does not hit.
Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, the club comes down, right? And you basically just sidestep out of the way as the club hits the ground, right? And your foot drags along the club as you're able to keep your momentum going. And it is now your initiative as you're running up this club towards this hill giant's face.
Yeah, I would like to continue running up this hill giant's arm as far as I can go, and then I would like to, try to jump and spear it in the eyeball with my longsword.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check.
17.
All right, and roll to hit. You do have an advantage because your allies are flanking it beneath you.
A 21.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
8.
Okay. As you feel, you plunge the sword in there, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I got a good shot in. You know, this is gonna be fun." But something happens. There's just this huge heat in your arm. This brilliant pink light just shoots right out of your sword. And you see that you hear it first. This loud crack and pop as the entire head of this hill giant completely blows apart as it falls backwards onto the ground. As your sword is now in your hand, still gleaming hot pink and steaming.
He cannot hold back the giddy dance at this point. He just does this little wiggle, and then he's like, "Oh, so fucking cool."
You hear utter silence. No, nothing from your knights, nothing from your the city just outside, nothing from the village. There's not a single sound in here, not even a cricket. As everyone's looking around, just jaw slack, drop to the floor. And you see the first one to speak is the one that talked to you earlier. My liege, your your swordsmanship trading has paid off, I see.
At the sound of the voice of a person that he is pretty sure doesn't know that something's up, but might start to suspect that something is up, he snaps right back into that regal stance, and then just gives a nice bow. Thank you. And then he would say this person's name, but he doesn't know it. Yeah, thank you. Nice work back there.
Yes, my liege. Of course, I wish I could have been more help. Next time you'll have to leave some for us, my liege.
I'll keep that in mind for next time. But the support was great.
It's with that you hear footsteps landing, just outside of your field of view as you kind of turn to them, and you see, for the first other person besides the dragon person you had just been talking to, whose name you do not remember or never knew. Who knows? Who knows what's actually going on here? You see, he's got this brown, feathery-looking hair, these long ears that are covered in these brown, similar feathered hair. And you see he's got arms, but attached to his arms, hanging down, are these falcon-like wings, brown and dark brown and tans mixed in. And you can see that he has, from the knee down, hawk's legs. He's wearing a orange tabard and a white scarf over top of that. As he lowers his spear to the ground, and he says, thanks for the help. Shoot, you're, as he notices finally the entourage and everything, and he drops to a knee. My apologies for my rudeness, Prince Takuga. I am so sorry.
There's like a moment where he's beyond enchanted at this point. He is now like the first degree of enamored. This guy is beautiful and he's living for it. And he just kind of like yes. It was making a big mess, and I thought that was pretty rude. You can stand. You don't have to stay kneeling.
I appreciate it, my liege. I am the Outrider, Cam, Knight of Kaldeth, and I welcome you to Kaldeth. I wish it was under better circumstances. And it's good to see you too, Victor. It's been a while. As he looks over to your blue dragon friend. I haven't seen you since that joust we did, 6 years ago? Man, you really knocked me on my ass. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm a little on edge, apparently.
That's fair, though.
Prince Takuga, I have your accommodations waiting for you. The others are supposed to be arriving soon. Hopefully you'll be able to find comfort and solace there.
Yeah.
The Dark Paw, the Dark Paw Inn is all set for you. You've got a room all ready to go. And if there's anything that I can do to be of service to you, just let me know.
Yeah. Can you like just stick with us, help us like find our way around and stuff?
Oh, of course. I would be glad to be
Fabulous,
your guide in Kaldeth.
And then he's gonna look at Victor and like kind of quietly lean in and be like, Can you do me a weird favor? Can you check this thing for like valuables? And he points at the hill giant.
I would be more than happy to rate it for any kind
Thanks.
of
Make sure you
valuable
take
material.
20%, my guy.
You are generous, my liege. And it seems like Nike is fitting you well. I am happy to hear that you enjoy it. Your father knew well passing it to you. As he gestures to your sword.
That brings me so much joy. Sorry. Yeah. It's pretty sweet. I'm really digging the hot pink. It's beautiful. I love it. And then he like suddenly remembers that like this is a fantasy world. I really like it a lot. Yeah, I love it.
Good. I will have the rest of the entourage follow you in. It'd be just the other two. You're familiar with Elric and Dawn, yes? You've met them before in your travels. He points to a red brachial looking what you now know as a dragon-like looking folk. This one has that scale running all the way up to the neck, and is just kind of has this slight drool of magma from the corner of the mouth,
and this tussle of red hair. And then next to him sits a silver-looking Drachia, dragon-like folk, who this one has, from what you could tell, just this light spackling of the scales around like the neck and cheek area, but the eyes are completely that piercing lizard-like silver color.
A little bit of refresher would be helpful. No offense, guys. I remember your faces.
Absolutely. You two, introduce yourself to your lord.
As you see, the red one stands forward, places his arm in his chest, and you see him do the most straight up, most violent bow you've possibly seen as he smacks his head into the floor.
I am Dorn, and I am here to serve my liege.
Thanks.
And then this silver one comes over, and you see that she curtsies, and she says, "My liege, my wish is your command."
Thanks, you two. Can you send those names in chat just so I can remember them? Thanks.
Yeah, I got you. Actually, I know Leaf's got you. I bet Leaf took notes. So, as they're all standing there, you see that Victor starts working on the hill giant as Cam kind of looks over at you, says, "If you'll follow me, I'll escort you over to the Dark Paw."
He nods and he'll sheath Nike, where she belongs, and starts to follow Cam as like they get a little bit further away from like Victor and the battle, and like he's been walking with grace and elegance for a minute. He starts to like kind of settle into a more somewhere between like graceful and comfortable pace.
Okay. So you are striding along, and you see the city for the first time. You see these large stone buildings with these timber roofs and this thatch laying over top. You see these beautiful streets, and there's glass pane windows. You can see different kinds of items for sale. You can see that there is just this bustling of happiness in the streets. You almost wouldn't be able to tell that there was a big old attack happening outside. Like, this is just another slice of life. But as you are traveling along towards the inside of the city, you're gonna give me a perception check.
That's not great. That's a 9.
Okay. And as you are walking along, you smell this sweet, sweet aroma. It smells like pineapple, but you can smell barbecue as well. Maybe it's pork. And you smell fresh tomatoes, and you can smell grilled onions. As you can see someone working a food cart on the corner, as Pam kind of looks at you and says, "Oh, Milish, are you
He's
hungry?"
like,
Tito makes the best tacos, and it is Tom and Day after all.
yeah. It smells delicious. I'm so hungry. And he is hungry. Need to just like kill a monster.
I'd be happy to get you some. Tito! 2 tacos, please.
Oh, I
Yep,
love
pineapple.
Pineapple on tacos? That
course.
sounds delicious.
All right. Yeah. We'll take just like that. Ooh, yeah. We'll have the the drink too. Okay. As he puts down some copper coins, and you see him hand you a small small basket, and there are 2 tacos in there. You see that this beautiful marinated pork. You can see these pineapple chunks and these grilled onions. You can see some cilantro on top, and you can see that it is just this beautiful arrangement of these 2 tacos. And he also hands you a glass bottle with a flip top on it to like recork it. That is filled with some kind of bright yellow liquid.
Because I am a gremlin, there is at least a 30% chance that their fingers brush when he takes tacos and bottle from him. And then...
Yeah, you want to go ahead and roll me sleight of hand. Go roll me sleight of hand.
25.
You see that he hands you the 2 tacos, and your hand brushes the back of his. It's like, sorry, my liege. I am so
For what?
so sorry.
No, it's fine.
And over here we have that is a
He's
orphanage.
Just,
Now moving on.
As he's watching this happen, because it's adorable, and that's like that moves him up from like the first step to like the second step of enamored. And then he just like pops the cork on the glass bottle and goes to just take a swig as he's following Cam without smelling it, asking what it is, nothing.
You swing it, and it is this, like, it tastes like this beautiful medley of pineapple and mango and sugar, and it's completely ice cold. Matter of fact, as you're drinking it, you can see that there is a light blue engraving at the bottom of the bottle that is slightly glowing. It's like, huh, I'm glad you like it, my liege. So yeah, up this road is get together, Cam. Is the Dark Paw Inn. That's where your accommodations are set. And just up the road further is Castle Caldeth, which is the seat of power. And just below that is the training ground for the Knights and Outriders, where I live. Why did I tell you that? I don't need to know that. Anyways, we have plenty of different general stores and different things to see and do. There's a park just outside the residential area. It's really beautiful. There's a long river that's built into it. Park benches and lots of shade in the trees. And the way that the hyacinths bloom during the summertime is just
Have you ever watched Steven Universe? You know, I mean, this is in character, out of character. Sorry, out of character.
Overwatched what? Do you ever?
I was gonna describe his eyes right now, because I was gonna say he's got the Steven Universe star eyes, as like Cam is describing.
So, I am ruling that your eyes can actually do that.
Okay.
Your eyes
so
can actually do.
As
Go ahead and
Cam
describe
is
it for me.
describing like this park area, and he gets so like into it, just like Dokuga is like slowly growing, like his attention is like clamping on to every single word that he's saying, and it's just like his eyes get wider and wider, and there's like a little star shape that appears in the center of his eye, and it like kind of flickers with excitement and like awe.
Yeah, you okay? Your eyes, they're he kind of feels your forehead. That was really, really forward of me. We should probably get you to your accommodations. You're probably tired from the road and need your rest.
Do I have the capability to
other
blush?
stuff? So we're just
Okay. That's happening right now.
yes. As the two of you start walking, he's like noticeably walking a little bit faster now. You can even see that his wings are like tucked in as it like protect his back. He's just kind of like hunkering down. So yeah. The others should be here tomorrow. Hopefully. So, here's the Dark Paw Inn. You can head inside. Your accommodations already set for you. I will follow along with you and make sure everything's good to go. And Leon will take good care of you.
Yeah, thanks. A lot. I appreciate it a lot. And he is now also kind of like half of that was not intended, and so now he's like realizing he's in a spot. The inn, right.
Yes. As you see, Cam opens the door for you.
Thank you. And he walks in.
You, my liege. All right. As you walk in, you see this gorgeous-looking inn. All the wood in here is like a darkened oak color, a slight ashy tinge to it. You can smell the mesquite smoke from the barbecues in the background. You can see hanging potted plants from the roofs that are just kind of adding more green into the environment. You can see a skylight letting the sun wash into it, just kind of having a little small pool in the center of the room. You can see these dark oak tables scattered throughout. And you see that it's rather slow right now. You see that there's like 3 guys look like they just got done working in a mine or something. And you see there is a rabbit person, and then, oh my gods, there's a rabbit person. Your eyes immediately stop scanning and notice the person that is a rabbit person sitting at the table, just drinking a beer like it's a normal day.
He is very enthralled with the whole setting. This really is like a fairy tale to him, and he's just living in the moment, and he is enjoying it because it's fucking awesome.
As you hear from behind the counter. Well, if it isn't Cam, how are you, dearie? It's been quite some time since you spent time here. And, who's this strapping young fellow? She looks over at you. And you see, who you can presume to be Leon. You see this vibrant purple hair, these rippling muscles. He's wearing nothing but a black tank top and a black leather collar. That's the only things that you can see from this side of the counter. But you presume there are bottoms on. And this purple furry tail to match his hair. Their hair flowing around behind their back.
He like.
Care to introduce yourself, dearie?
Dokuga. Dokuga.
That's quite a few syllables for that name. Dokuga. Oh, such a pretty name. And let's see here. You're on the list for 2 weeks of accommodations already paid for. And don't worry, you won't be getting any special treatment.
He just turns
from
like
me.
whatever color that he turns when he blushes, like it is bright.
Okay. So here's your room key. It's gonna be
Seven's a
room
good
7,
number.
okay? Breakfast is served at 9. Lunch is served at noon. And dinner is served at 6. So make sure you show up at those times if you don't want to have to pay for extra food, okay? And remember, it's thin walls, so use some kind of muffling if you need it, okay? Cam makes a lot of noise from what I hear.
That right color.
As he goes back to working behind the bar. You see Cam is just hiding under his feathers at this point. Under his wings,
There's a brief
he's just a
moment
ball of feathers.
where he just he knows he needs to break the silence. So he says quietly to Cam, "It's okay, me too." And then he realizes, shit. I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, would you look at that? I have nightly business.
Yeah, me too.
Nightly business. Nope. Nightly business to it. Yeah. Okay. I'm
I'll see you tomorrow.
on my way. But see ya
Thanks.
tomorrow. Enjoy your time
too.
and
Yeah.
let me know if you need anything. I am going now. That's not the door. That's the bathroom. Okay, over here. As he leaves out the front door, you see Dorn just kind of picking his teeth.
My liege, should we go and make sure the room is clear of insurgents or assassins?
Here's the key. I'm gonna order a drink if that's cool.
Understood. You there. Stay with our liege. I will clear the room.
At once. And you see that she pulls out the seat so that you can sit down. And stands, and you see that she has her hand rested on her sword the entire time. She's scanning the room, the whole thing, as you sit down at this table to get a drink. And you see a young woman come running up, and she takes a look at you, and you can see she's got this light brown hair. She's got these red and white bows in her hair, and she's wearing a red and black outfit. Looks like her waitress outfit. She's got a black leather collar similar to Leon's collar on as well, and these bright pink eyes. It's like, hi, I'm Pepper, and I'll be your server today. What can I get you started to drink? Or
when the chair is pulled out for him, it takes him a second to sit, because he has to figure out how to maneuver a tail, and B, figure out how to maneuver the awkward moment that just happened in the middle of the inn. And so he settles in stiffly, and you can see him moving the tail around a little bit until he finally finds a way to sit comfortably with it. And then he looks at Pepper and clears his throat. I would like a mug of ale, please.
Understood. Are you in the mood for a Gleeglux Pilsner? Or maybe you look like you might be the kind that say, a stout root ale.
Take your suggestion. Let's go with the stout ale.
Alright. Sounds good. Anything else to eat while you're waiting?
He looks at the tacos still in his hand. He still has a bottle in his other hand. I'm okay for now. Just the ale, please. Thank you.
Okay. I'll go ahead and get that
do.
for you. And if you need anything, just ask for Pepper, okay? Oh, and that's my name, not the spice. Although if you need Pepper, I suppose I can get that too.
He's still overwhelmed from what just happened, but also Pepper is adorable, and he's resisting the urge to pinch her cheeks because she's so cute. And he just mm-hmm. Understood.
I'll go ahead and go get those for you, and you enjoy. Anything for your friend here?
You sure you don't
And she's
want
like,
anything to eat or drink?
All right, thank you. No thanking on the job.
He nods.
Okay, my liege. Thank you for your consideration. As Pepper heads off. And why don't you go and roll you another perception check, please?
19.
Okay. You notice that there's a sort of calm happiness in the air from everybody, except a anger. One you can sense. You can't explain it. It's like you understand how your smell works, how to smell, and how your nose works and all that stuff. You understand how your eyes work and your ears work. You understand how those senses work. It's almost like there's this additional sense that's being triggered somewhere within your brain. It's telling you, just outside this building, there is someone just with a intense amount of anger and rage within them. And it's gone almost immediately. With that, you see Pepper comes around with your ale. All right, here we go. 1 stout root ale.
Yeah. Thanks.
You okay there?
Is like focused a little bit on that sense, but he doesn't want to worry Pepper, so he doesn't tell her about it. And he just like when he takes the ale from her, he like gives her a smile. No.
Well, drink up. I gotta
And
know
then
if
he
my
like
suggestion was
he
the
like
right
gives
one.
a little bit of a chuckle, and then he does take a pretty solid swig from the cup.
Okay. So we're going to determine your taste buds for alcohol. So you can go ahead and roll me a d6.
3.
This is pretty good. It's not the best alcohol you've ever had, but this is pretty delicious, and it's incredibly cool. You've not noticed a single ounce of electricity since you've been here, but you've had 2 cold drinks now. And it's not until you notice the exact same blue engravings at the bottom of this mug that you're starting to sense some kind of connection of some kind. It's like, so you're not spitting it at me, so it's like you must like it at least a little bit.
A smile, and it's a pretty like genuine smile. Yeah, this is pretty good. I like it a lot. It was a good suggestion.
I'm glad you like it. We have 6 different varieties here, so next time you could try another one. See if you can find one you like the most.
I am here for a little while, so. I probably would like to do
got
some
any sightseeing
sightseeing.
in mind?
Do you have any recommendations?
Oh, yeah. So there's this temple. This temple in the old town. It is dedicated to the doll, and it is a beautiful, beautiful temple. There, it's really peaceful. It feels like the weight of the world falls from your shoulders, and all that you can feel within your heart is nothing but it's a liberating feeling, let me tell you. It's where
There's a moment where he like
that's where I got
looks
my
at
new
her,
start.
and then he quietly like says,
Uh,
"Yeah, never mind.
I'm
Never
not-
mind. Don't."
I'm Pepper. I'm not sure what you. I don't think I know anyone.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
might have someone who works like the day shift, but is this your first day here?
Yeah, must be. And there's like a
Must be
hint
somebody
of,
from
like,
back
a
home, huh?
sadness on his face. He doesn't say anything else about it. So this temple, where exactly is it?
Oh, it's over in Old Town. When you head outside, you can just head up the stairs. You'll see a old clock tower. You head over there, and
like
the temple
recognize
is
this
in
to be,
the
like,
park just behind that.
The same park that Cam was talking about? He blushes just slightly at that.
Yes, it is.
Great. Definitely intend to go there.
Well, sounds good.
Will do. Thank you.
I gotta go help this other customer. I will be back. If you need anything, let me know. And you see Dorn walk down the stairs. He looks down.
My liege. Room's free of traps and enemies, and I have since laid
thank
all
you.
protective
Dorn,
barriers
I appreciate
known
your-
to the Drachia.
Hard work. Wonderful.
I have also
A
fluffed
good
your
fluffy
pillow.
pillow for the night.
sire.
Sounds magnificent. And then he
If you'd like, sire, I can continuously cast upon
that's
this pillow
okay.
to make sure
I
that
appreciate
neither
the
side
offer.
becomes too
If it
hot.
gets too warm, I will let you know. And then he turns to the silver
At once. sire.
Drachia, whose name he still doesn't really know. But she's sitting at the table with me, right? Do we have sufficient
Yes.
funds to make sure that Pepper gets a solid tip, at least 20%?
Yes, my liege. You asked me to hold on to your coin purse while you slept, so here it is. As she hands you a large
I am so
pouch
sorry for the box
jingling with gold. If you'd like, I can. If you'd like,
Can I see if
carry
she
it
would
for you.
can I insight check to see if she would prefer to carry it for me? Because some of these people seem to be really
make an insight check.
fond of taking care of me. That's a nat 20 for a 27.
Yeah. So it seems like she wants to hold on to this because she is, from what you could tell, terrified of the idea of giving you more targets on your back, and a coin purse of this size, you could tell, would be a massive additional target on your back.
Yeah, if you don't mind hanging on to it for at least a little while longer, I'd appreciate that a lot. Thank you. He smiles and then he's like, I heard your name briefly earlier,
Of course,
but I
my liege.
am failing to remember. Do you mind reminding me?
Oh, if it's all the same
Silver
to you,
it
my
is.
liege, I like to just go by Silver. Thank you, my liege. As the two of them are kind of just watching over you as you finish your drink and finish your tacos. You're just sitting there, just enjoying the atmosphere. And Pepper comes back around and starts cleaning up your mess. All right. Is there anything else I can get you for the night?
No
We're-
worries. I am
We're a
all
little bit
set.
swamped right
And he
now.
looks at
but
Silver just to
I
make
got some
sure one
time.
last time that she doesn't need anything. I think we're all set. Thank you.
Silver just nods at you.
Yes, thank you.
Well,
And then he stands up, and
stairs
it's
up
another
to the rooms
awkward
are that way.
situation as he tries to finagle the tail again. But he's getting a little more used to it, so it's less awkward.
As you walk up there, you see that Silver and Dorn are walking behind you. As Dorn traces some magic over the door, you can see his fingers lighting up with red flames and fire just spiraling into these intricate designs right in front of the door. As he pulls his hand away, you hear a loud locking sound as the door swings open.
There you are, my liege. And should you need anything at all, Silver and I will be right here across the hall. I have enchanted your room should anything besides you enter or leave. I will be alerted, and I will have video fed right into my eyes. I will be able to see everything that goes on in that room. So rest assured, my liege, that
There's a
you
moment
are
where,
protected. I will see whatever tries
I don't know if
enter your
Drachia
chambers.
sweats, but he sweats a little. Even if it's just metaphorically sweats a little. Right, thanks. I appreciate that.
You have a restful night, sire.
As he bows again extremely hard, hitting his head on the floor.
He nods and then
And
like kind of bows
Silver
his head a
curtsies
little bit
behind him.
because he's not really sure what's considered respectful in this culture, but a little head nod is like respectful in most cultures, so that's what he does, at least that he knows of on Earth from what he learned. And then he'll go into the room.
All right. Okay. So what do you do as you head into the room? As you kind of look around, you see that it's this very nice looking spacious room. You see this this king size bed. You can see a standalone steel bathing tub with a pitcher of water with another engraving on it. You can see a plate filled with cheeses and grapes and crackers sitting on the edge of the bed. You can see a fresh change of clothes hung from a rack near where you can see is the toilet and the vanity mirror area. And there's also a writing desk with a fanciful
I am
chair
just gonna
there as well.
stop and take a minute to look at everything. And this is like the first moment that I've been alone pretty much since I've died and been reincarnated. And it kind of all hits him like right in this moment. And he just kind of gets quiet, even though like he wasn't really being noisy before that, but like it's a quiet moment, kind of somber, and at first he just sits on the edge of the bed and like thinks about it. And it's maybe a couple of minutes that he's like that before he like decides that maybe he should bathe. So he's going to do that as well. And he's also very curious about the picture with the engraving because he wants to know what the engraving is. He has like an assumption that it's probably warm water because it's by a bed and a bath, and he's already seen the cold water sigil. But he's curious all the same, so he's gonna try it out. But he has definitely lost a lot of like that bright in your face like excitement that he's had this whole time, because he's now in this like somber moment, and he kind of like swears to himself quietly that he is going to find Ivy and uphold his promise to her.
So as you think these things and you really feel them, you're kind of absent-mindedly moving along. As you do, you feel the water, and you feel how it's kept at that nice warm temperature, not too scalding, definitely not room temperature, but that's can't even excite you as you kind of just head towards the window. And as you look out into the stars, while you may be here in another world, you know for certain that you'll see Ivy again.